So let's look at how we actually put together our attribute set. So we've now set up the various different attributes. Okay, we don't have to do those attributes first. We could have set up the attribute set, come down anytime down the line and create attributes and add those to that attribute set. But in this example, we've already created some attributes. What we want to do is we now want them in the appropriate attribute set for our luggage item. Okay, so we're going to be using this item of luggage just to show the results. And I'm going to show you this on the back end and on the front end of the site so you can see the results as we go through. So first off, I'm going to go in the back end to catalog attributes and manage attribute sets. And in here I have this attribute set here called luggage. Okay, so this is the obvious choice for where I'm going to put all attributes that to do with any questions to do with luggage items. If this attribute set isn't created on yours, then it's fairly simple to create. Just add new set, create a label, base it on an existing attribute set, and you're away. And that was in a previous video. So I'm going to click on the luggage attribute set. Right, so this shows me what is going on with that attribute set at the moment and what attributes are assigned there. So if I go from left to right, on the left hand side we have the name of the attribute set. Okay, and it says here it's for internal use only. So that means that no customer will actually see reference to this attribute set. As far as they're concerned on the front end of the system, they don't know that products are in different attribute sets. Okay, so that's just purely so on the back end we can see that. And I'll show you where that's referenced in the product as well. The next one along, it says groups. And you'll see down here a list of groups, which are these with the folder icons. So we've got general, prices, and then within those we have a list of attributes. Okay, and if I scroll down, you can see that there are quite a few. Okay, scroll back up. Right, these relate to the attributes that we defined or that are already defined by the system, which you can find in attributes, manage attributes. And you will go, if you went into there, you would see a whole list of attributes in there, and that's where these attributes come from. Okay, so we can go in and we can configure how we want them to be used on our store. Now you'll notice that some of them have, and you have to look very carefully at this, but some of them have a stop sign symbol against them. Okay, and some of them don't. So you can see there one that doesn't, which is luggage size, and then you see ones that do. The ones that do have to remain in that attribute set. Okay, so they're generally speaking, they're Magento's standard attributes that all products have, and they have to be in that attribute. You can't move them out in that attribute set. You can't move them out. The ones that don't can actually be moved in and out, and I'll show you how you move those in and out in a moment. Right, what I want to do though is in a separate tab, okay, which is this one here, I want to show you how this attribute setup here, the attribute setup here in the attribute set, relate to the actual product itself. So in a separate tab, I've gone to manage products, and I've chosen a product that is in the luggage attribute set. Okay, so if you haven't got any products in the luggage attribute set, you won't be able to look at this until you do have one in there. And again, when we come to create a product, that'll all become clear. But just for the sake of me showing you this, we have a product here that's in the luggage attribute set. If I click on the product, it goes into edit the product. And again, we'll be looking at this in a lot more detail. So really, I'm just going to be doing a quick overview at this stage. And what you can see is we've got the name of the product here, luxury lover flight bag, and then in brackets it's got luggage, and what's in the brackets indicates the attributes that that particular product is in. So the questions here relate to that attribute set, which is this. Right, so let's have a look what we've got in the attribute set. Let's close up some of these groups. Right, so you can see here we have a group called general, prices, meta information, images, recurring profile design, and gift options. Okay, let's have a look at the product. Now over on the left hand side here we have a selection of tabs, and you will notice that the tabs general, prices, meta information, images, recurring profiles, design, gift options match up with the group labels we have here. Okay, and then it goes into some system ones that all products have as well. Right, so let's have a look at the general tab. Okay, so we go to the general group, and we can see we've got name, description, short description, SKU, weight, news from, news to. Let's have a look at how that looks in here, and you can see that the fields that we have here to fill in are name, description, short description, SKU, weight, new from, new to. So that matches up with these attributes here. Now, quick one here is that you can move these around. So I might want it that SKU is the very first question that I ask when I'm entering product data. If I save this attribute set, give it a moment, and now if I refresh this page here, you can now see that SKU is the first question. So already we can see how attribute sets affect how we enter our product information. Okay, go back into the attribute set. I'm going to move that back to where it was, which is under short description. Okay, and I'm just going to move that back there. Now, that's the attributes that are within the attribute set. Then we have over here unassigned attributes. So these are attributes that exist in the system but aren't used in this particular attribute set. And bearing in mind this is for luggage, you have a look down and it makes sense why some of them aren't. So you can see here things like women's swimwear size, women's size, men's size, that kind of thing. Those don't make sense that they're in that attribute set. We don't want to ask those kind of questions when we're creating the product, so we don't include them in the attribute set. But you can also see down here the attributes that we've created. So we've got wheels, material, capacity, brand, expandable, cabin friendly. I want those to actually exist in this attribute set. And what I can do to do that is simply drag them over. So I could go over and drag this in and place the question where I want it to appear. So in this case, I'm putting it in the general tab and I'm putting it after the is imported attribute. Okay, so I could just go through and I could add all of these. So we've got wheels, we've got material, we've got capacity, we have brand, we have expandable, and finally we have cabin friendly. Let's save that and see what happens. Okay, now if I refresh, so before I refresh, let me just show you the general tab, and you can see that this finishes at country of manufacture, and we've got suitcase size, we've got in feed, but we haven't got any other of the attributes that we put in there. If I refresh this, because now I have changed the attribute set, as we go down, we can now see the questions that we asked. So has it got wheels, yes or no? What material? And we can see we've got the drop down there as we described it, so that's leather. We can pick a capacity in litres, so maybe it's 25. Choose a brand, let's go for World Luggage. Is it expandable? No, it's not. And then here we've got a multi-select where we can say what airlines that this is compatible with. Okay, and again, we'll be going through product details in how to create a product in much more detail in the next section. So don't worry if this doesn't make sense at this moment in time. Okay, so I save that. Now if I go and have a look at the product on the front end, okay, you can see here we've got this additional information tab. If I click on that, you can see here that we've got answers to all of those questions, right? And the reason why these are appearing on the front end is because one of the options when we created the attribute was to say that it was visible on the product view page. And if you set it to be visible on the product view page, then it'll appear under this additional information tab. One last thing on the attribute sets. Go back into the luggage attribute. Right. So again, I'm just going to close all these up just to make this easier to see. Obviously you don't have to do this when you're doing it live, but just for the purpose of this, it makes it easier to see. Right, we have here tabs, the tabs that relate to our product. Our product here, okay? So we've got these tabs down here. Right, we can create our own. And all we need to do to create our own tab is to do add new, and that'll add a new group. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a group called Luggage Specifics. I'm going to tell you how I use this in a moment. So I've created the Luggage Specifics tab, and I'm going to drag that up so it appears just underneath the General tab. Okay, so you can see there we've got General, then it's going to go Luggage Specifics. Then what I'm going to do is, rather than have all this stuff cluttering up the General tab, I'm going to, the ones we've just created, I'm going to actually drag them into the Luggage Specifics tab. So we'll have wheels, material, capacity, and you can see as I drag it, I just need to hover over, and you'll notice there's a little plus sign as I hover over an appropriate place it can be dropped into. The little green plus sign appears, and I can drop it in. Okay, so we keep going, brand, expandable, cabin friendly, and luggage size. Okay, so it's dropped all those in there. I can then move these around to be in the order that I want, so it might well be that I want brand to be the very first question that appears there, followed by has it got wheels, is it expandable, capacity, so on. Right, so I've now created that group. If I save that and now refresh this page, okay, you can see that now those questions have moved out of there, but we've now got this Luggage Specifics tab, and within here we've got all the questions that are related to luggage. Now this is all to do with aesthetics, and this is all to do with just making life easier for people who are administrators on your system, finding the information you want. If you have many different product types, and so by definition you'd have quite a few different attribute sets, what's I think quite a useful thing to do is try and keep everything as uniform as possible. So things like the general, price tag, meta information, all of that, keep them as they are. Keep them consistent across the board. And then have one tab that you create which is the stuff that is different about this product. So you have all the other tabs, which is the usual stuff, and then you have one tab that is the stuff that is different about this particular type of product. So it means that if someone's investigating information or having to change something, they can hone in straight to the tab that they need to be in, rather than scrolling through and trying to work out where you've placed it, maybe in this tab or another tab. So that's really just a helpful tip, hopefully. And that's how we then go about setting up attribute sets.